provide the talent and technology to support Central Florida's economy and the growing U.S. space program. 5 years later, approximately 2,000 students, 90 instructors, and 150 staff members arrived at a campus with just 7 buildings and a sandy parking lot. The headline in the local newspaper read, "Monday, October 7. Write it down. Remember it as the day that changed Orlando and Central Florida forever." I think we can all agree the newspaper got it right. Today, UCF is one of the top 100 public universities in the country. Over 68,000 students now span 4 campuses across our community, including our main campus in Orange County, a growing academic health sciences center in Lake Nona, the Rosen College of Hospitality Management on International Drive, the #1 hospitality management program in the country, and our newest campus in downtown Orlando, built in partnership with Valencia College. Over 57% of our students come to UCF from outside the 5-county area, and more than 33,000 beds of purpose-built student housing has been built on and around our main campus. UCF has grown from a regional university to the university of choice for outstanding students and world-renowned researchers. UCF's meteoric rise is the true personification of what makes Orlando unbelievably real. This community has an unshaken belief in our potential, and through partnership and shared investment, the impossible always seems to become possible. With your help, UCF has emerged as a national leader in higher education and innovation, now focused on becoming the university for the future, anchored here in Orlando. A university that drives broad-based prosperity by increasing access to opportunity. A university that strategically invests in partnerships, innovative research, and creative works that fuel economic growth. A university that responds to the needs of industry by providing the skilled workforce our region needs today and in the future. And a university that creates experiences that foster community through the arts, engagement, and athletics that bring pride to Central Florida. This vision comes to life through our incredible people. We are a diverse community that looks like the future of America, with over 68,000 students, 12,000 faculty and staff, and 360,000 living alumni. We have intentionally designed the UCF experience to be woven into the fabric of our community, and the Orlando experience makes our institution even stronger. Our athletics program has served as a front porch for our university, helping to elevate our national brand, increasing the quality of our students and faculty, while creating an incredible sense of a belonging and community. And as we prepare to welcome our new friends from the Big 12 in the coming months, we believe that enhanced world-class facilities for athletics will position us uniquely so that everyone will remember their visit to Orlando. To help dive into the details of the foundation we have already built and how you can help accelerate our plans for the future, I have asked Fred Kittinger and Terry Mohaja to join me today. Fred?
Thank you, President Cartwright, and a very good morning to each of you. Just a few months ago, I celebrated a recent birthday, and a very good friend of mine reminded me that it is the last birthday I will have before I enter that very esteemed club known as the chronologically gifted. He is no longer on the Christmas card list, but I will claim and proudly possess the age, because it does give you those experiences, those lessons through life to appreciate from where you've come and where you're going. And for today, it's perfect because it gives me an opportunity to reflect upon the incredible impact, positive impact that collegiate sports have had, not just on the University of Central Florida, but on our Orlando community. I have the good fortune of being a native son of Orange County. I grew up on the east side. I'm a proud product of the neighborhoods of Eastbrook and the Winter Pines. I went to Winter Park High School, and a proud UCF alum. I have seen firsthand the incredible impact that our investment in intercollegiate sports has given to UCF as far as elevating our national brand, but also for what it has done to help transform the Central Florida community. I first stepped foot on the UCF campus back in 1977. It was in that period of time just before the cooling of the earth and Benjamin Franklin playing with electricity, but it was a wonderful time because it was transition time for our university. I was fortunate to have two great bookends. I was there for the first game, the first home football game, down at the Citrus Bowl when our team took on Fort Benning. We had a ragtag group of players, 60 guys that had not played ball for 2 or 3 years from high school, wearing probably borrowed uniforms, but they came with a lot of grit, a lot of guts, and a love for the university and for the sport. They won the game, 7-6. Sounds like a baseball game, but they won the game. And then I was there, if you jump forward, I was there on September 15th, 2007, September 15th, 2007, when the Orlando community hosted the number 6 ranked Texas Longhorns to our brand new stadium on campus. And from that game, the legend and lore of the Bounce House was officially born and has stayed with us ever since. We may have lost that game by 3 points, but we won. We won the confidence in knowing that both UCF and our community are ready for the big stage when it comes to collegiate sports. Over the past 25 years, we have built a destination for collegiate sports and competition that is now talked about nationally. Please take a look at this transformation. With the arrival of the Addition Financial Arena, the FBC Mortgage Stadium, and John Uliano Park, the university has privately raised funds for facilities that are not only the pride of our collegiate athletics program, but the same facilities also attract statewide academic competitions and seminars, destination summer camps, concerts year-round that are open to the community, and graduation ceremonies that welcome the families of our students to Orlando to celebrate the achievements of our graduates. This past spring, with UCF, Valencia, Seminole State, and our local high schools, we held 35 graduations for students out at our arena complex. UCF is now a destination. We've come a long way since that first home football game in 1979, and today UCF has become a true destination for academic excellence, research, and collegiate sports. Just last year, our venues hosted over 300 events. We welcomed over 800,000 attendees, ranging from basketball to Sesame Street. In addition, across all of our athletic facilities and fields, we hosted over 10,000 youth sport camp visitors, 6,000 student athletes and their coaches, and 2,000 visiting recruits and their families. And now, as UCF has become a premier choice for university students across the country, our campus has grown to host over 37,000 prospective and new students and their families for tours and orientation. And now, we're just getting started. Terry Mahajer, our Vice President and Director of Athletics, is here today to share, in the words that our mayor used last Friday at the State of the County, how we are going to take it to the next level with our community support. Terry.
Thanks, Fred. It's truly an exciting time for UCF athletics and our entire community. I'd like to briefly tell you our athletics story. On July 1st, in just a few weeks, UCF and Central Florida will officially become a Big 12 member, one of the top 5 collegiate conferences in the country. UCF athletics will welcome a new level of competition and new, robust, passionate fan bases here to Orange County and for generations to come. We will expand our national reach as our competitions will be televised on the biggest sports networks in the world, ABC, ESPN, and Fox. And with your help, we will accelerate the expansion of our athletics facilities and event venues to enable us to welcome more visitors. There will be an unprecedented amount of energy and excitement among our robust alumni and fans in a way that highlights what is so special about Orlando. Let's not forget about our 68,000 students, which is the lifeblood of our campus. At this moment in our history, it's truly unbelievably real, because only 4 other universities in Power 5 were founded after the 1900s, and UCF is the youngest of them all. And the speed of this accomplishment was no accident. Our invitation to join the Big 12 was only made possible because of the commitment of our students, our student athletes, the vision of our community members, and over $200 million in private support from individual donors who all believed this was possible. And because the state of Florida restricts the use of education and general funds, athletics facilities and operations, we could not have built any of the current facilities without the support of our season ticket holders, our alumni, our fans, our community supporters, and donors who pledged millions of their own dollars to support this very special place. And one of the signature events where you can feel the impact in their investment is during a home football game. On any given Friday in the fall, hundreds of thousands of people are traveling back to their alma maters to cheer on their teams. Here in Orlando, at FBC Mortgage Stadium, UCF on game day welcomes 45,000 fans, 740 game day employees, and based on the Big 12's average viewership, we will broadcast to an average national audience of 3.9 million viewers on ABC or Fox, the world's largest sports networks. With over 45% of the ticket sales coming from outside a 50-mile radius, this is more than just an afternoon cheering on the Knights. These are long weekends in Orlando, nights in our hotels, and visitors to our local restaurants and venues. And the Big 12 is among the top 3 most watched collegiate conferences in America. This exposure not only benefits the university, it also highlights the region. This is why we must ensure our facilities are among the best in the country, so guests come back year after year, and not just for game day, but to experience our community. With a minimum of 6 home games per year, this is just one example of how our 16 men's and women's sports activate tourism. As we prepare to enter the Big 12 in just a couple weeks, and to ensure UCF and Orange County are positioned as a destination within the conference, we launched a program called Mission 12, which includes $267.8 million of master plan for the future of the Kenneth G. Dixon Athletics Village. This master plan benefits all of our sports, including new football operations facilities, new support student-athlete performances and recovery and training and competition, and new enhanced improvements for our venues for fan experiences. The proposal you are considering today is not to fund the full master plan. Rather, we're asking for $176 million investment over 10 years to accelerate the venue enhancements that align with the economic tourism development goals of our region. This $176 million of investment over 10 years will accelerate and amplify our existing master plan, which was estimated in the current market. I could talk about these projects all day long, but I think that we have a video that better illustrates our plan.
Home, the place where our unleashed potential becomes unbelievably real. As Orlando's hometown university prepares to welcome teams and visitors from the biggest brands in college athletics and millions of viewers from a new national audience, UCF aspires to strategically invest in facilities to ensure Orlando is positioned to become the international destination for intercollegiate sports and training and competition, and the preeminent collegiate collaborator for regional growth of sports tourism. We aim to accelerate our Mission 12 initiative, which outlines transformational plans for enhancements to FBC Mortgage Stadium, including a new West Stadium tower, which would increase capacity, expand suite offerings, and offer new, unique premium seating and event space opportunities that carry beyond game day to attract more events. The stadium is already one of UCF's largest drivers for visitors, generating over 140,000 room nights in the fall. The development of a football campus will be anchored by a reimagined soccer-specific stadium and training pitches, which increase the opportunity to host amateur all-star events and continue to serve as a warm-weather training home to professional clubs from around the world, while supporting the city's bids to host major soccer events. Renovations and updates to Addition Financial Arena and the venue will provide first-class training and competition facilities for basketball and volleyball, while providing opportunity to expand on the 130-plus annual events in the facility. These events go beyond sport competition, hosting over 300,000 visitors annually for graduations, concerts, shows, robotics competitions, and more. The new Olympic Park, located on the east side of the village, will include major improvements to the UCF softball complex, the creation of a tennis training center, and Orange County's first intercollegiate track and field specific facility. Each of these facilities would be prepared to host regional and national events, with the potential to host hundreds of thousands of competitors and fans annually from around the country. The master plan also calls for baseball training facility updates to help attract additional amateur camps and showcases year-round, and an international broadcast center equipped with the tools to produce events to be aired around the world, bringing more exposure to the region. As Orange County becomes home to a Power 5 athletics program, these facilities will deliver sustained activity year-round that will create destination experiences, attracting more visitors to compete, train, and cheer on their teams. The completion of this project will enable UCF to better support competitive bids for national and global events, to further support the region's strategic sport tourism efforts, as well as enhancing the Central Florida economy. Go Knights! Charge on!
Our plan is to continue to partner across the entire community to become the preeminent collaborator for regional sports tourism. UCF has a history of bringing national competition to Orlando for making our facilities available to every professional sports league and amateur camps. Just this year, we served as the NCAA institutional sponsor to host the first and second round of March Madness at the Amway Center. We also provided practice facilities for the U.S. Women's World Cup soccer team before their competition at Exploria Stadium. And we also hosted the Hula Bowl. When this vision for the future facilities of Orlando's hometown university is fully realized, it will further drive tourism and regional impact. UCF Athletics has a proven track record for successfully bringing visitors to our region. And when we project our impact over the next 10 years, it's substantial. When teams, summer camps, and events come to UCF, they all stay at hotels near our main campus in downtown Orlando and across the tourism corridor. And so do their fans, their families, the media, the officials, and other game day support staff. They dine at our restaurants, visit our attractions, and support our local economy. As you can see on the slide, we conservatively estimate $910 million in tourism impact as we welcome 2.1 million visitors over the next 10 years, resulting in 2 million room nights for our region. Keep in mind, the $910 million impact only reflects those who travel outside a 50-mile radius. These new facilities, paired with our incredible location in Orlando, will make us the leading destination for conference and NCAA competition. Our request to the committee is that you help us blast off to our next chapter as Orlando's hometown team in a way that will bring tremendous benefit to the region. With a commitment of $176 million in TDT funding over a 10-year period, we could, within 6 months, begin construction. This will drive additional visitor capacity and attract new events, all while bringing in tourism revenue as part of the commitment to provide a return on our community's investment in us. I know this is a lot of information. We have included in our slides and in your packets a summary of our proposal. But we are so excited to turn this vision into an unbelievably real reality that benefits us all. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to President Cartwright.
Thank you, Terry. I do believe that significant achievements in UCF's history have only occurred because of the partnerships that we have. We aspire to be the best, and we'll continue to move on, and as we say, charge on.
Thank you for your presentation. We'll now allow time for a few questions regarding UCF sports from the group. First, Mr. Robert Santoni.
Thank you. Congratulations on the ascent to the Big 12. I know that's a big deal. Does your ask contemplate the increased revenue from the TV revenue sharing rights that the Big 12 partakes in?
Yes, so what we've looked at is we've asked for the facilities improvement. What we also have to do is then run our athletics department, and the increased revenues allow us to continue to support the operational cost increases that also occur in going to the Power 5. So,
Thank you.
Help? You want to say anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, the facility we're asking for, the new distribution dollars we don't get new distribution dollars until fiscal year 26, and that will level set us just in our operating capital alone. That's travel, recruiting, personnel. That's what it level sets. So this is in addition. We'd have to fundraise for this.
She said until 2026?
2026, fiscal year 2026 is when we get full share distributions of the Big 12.
Jay Galbraith.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Dr. Cartwright, thank you. Appreciate the collaborative approach to this. First, I just know of Fred Kittinger's worldwide fame. I'm just curious how large Fred's NIL contract is. With that.
I can answer that. I've been in this business 30 years. It's one of the hardest projects we've ever had to fund.
We could fund a lot with Fred's NIL contract. So with that, obviously, your operations is on the east side. We're a big region. My impression with everything that y'all have done in the past and everything that you plan to do, because a lot of the entertainment and hotel venues are on the west side of town. And I know we host bowl games, et cetera. So tell me what you looks like from a room night and destination point of view.
I'll begin by just saying, when we host people, they actually stay across all of Orange County. When we bring in a football team, they require pretty much an entire, I'll let the athletic director answer that, pretty much an entire hotel. And those hotels are usually all over the place. And I think you can give some examples of where people have stayed in the past.
Yeah. Right now, there's on the east side of Orlando, we don't really have the facilities, hotel facilities to house 200 travel party for football. Our team stays at the DoubleTree right by campus, but it's a scale down. It's half. We don't dress everybody. But they stay in downtown Orlando, the airport, and part of the tourism corridor. We don't have the facilities to handle it. It's too big of an operation.
Thank you. Let me go to Stephen, and then we'll go to Eric after that.
All right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciated seeing that, especially as a proud UCF alum. I was very happy to see how the value of my degree increasing over time. Thanks for all of the work overall, not just athletics. I do have some questions, though. With regard to your official application or interest indicator form, you guys cite the Greater Orlando Sports Commission in your economic impact statement. Are you receiving any funding from the Greater Orlando Sports Commission? No? No? No funding from there? Okay.
We're partnering. We partner with them, but we don't, no funding.
Okay. And then you mentioned in the presentation that this project could begin within 6 months if this is approved.
Yes, we can, yes.
So,
absolutely.
So
we've already contracted a design team. Right now, we're entering in design development phase.
Okay. I never got, I was too busy working to enjoy any of the amenities as a student to try and keep my loans down, my student loans down. I never got, and I graduated before the Lazy River was built, which was privately funded. What are you going to do? What happens to this project if it doesn't get funded from this body? I mean, 6 months that's pretty shovel ready. What happens if this body doesn't recommend funding to the project overall? Well,
we're going to continue to move forward as an institution. What will happen is that we'll have to actually raise all of those dollars privately, just like it took us many, many years to do in the past. What this would allow us to do is leverage, our investors in the past 15 years were our angel investors. They came in, they helped us to get all the facilities to get to where we are now and then to enter into the Power Five. We don't want to just enter into the Power Five. We want to enter in the Power Five and be big time, and to do that quickly. There's a real opportunity here for us with the right investment infusion. We can then start leveraging and building that tourism industry here, moving people, having more people come here, because we have the facilities that then make it possible. We're bringing in additional events, all sorts of things can happen. We won't be able to do that as quickly if we had to raise all those dollars on our own. We would have to actually raise it privately.
And one of my other questions, Roberto already asked about the broadcast rights and the revenue share on that. What do you anticipate that to be?
It's been chronicled. It'd be closer to $40 million
per season.
Per season.
And however, would that go to general funds, or would that
go to general funds? Right now, we're about $40 million behind the rest of the league. just in operating capital, and that does not include infrastructure increases.
All right, thank you. Eric, and then we're going to Brendan after that.
I want to follow up on the same question Robert asked as well, and this is for Director Mahajer. And I'm doing this from memory because I wanted to be clear on the revenue as well, because most of the presentations we've seen are coming from organizations that don't turn a profit of any kind, and some lose money of different kinds. So in the American Athletic Conference, the media contracts and the payout were closer to $7.2 million roughly.
That's about
And in the first 2 years, it looks like it's going to be about $18 million and $19 million a year for the first 2 years until you get a full share, which will be about $32 million. But that doesn't include the NCAA payout and the college football playoff when it goes to 12 teams, which it could go as high as $50 million a year.
Actually, it does include that, the part of the distribution
The
revenue.
$31 million.
Well, no, total, the 40 million I was talking about would include CFP and everything.
But some of the estimates I read had said that it's going to be $31 million was the anticipated media contract, whether it's with Fox and ESPN, and you'll get a full share starting in 2026. But then beyond that, there's potential additional revenue beyond just the media contract. And that's the part I really wanted to understand, which is if you're going from $7 million a year to, in 2 years, $40 million a year from this, which is a fantastic accomplishment, and you're all to be just unbelievably heralded for that. It's crazy. I can't believe, I mean, imagine, an Overland Park, Kansas guy thinking he's running a Big 12 school is a pretty big deal. But I wonder if there are any other examples of Power 5 conferences where the community itself funded some type of athletic facilities, because I was looking, I just couldn't find any. I don't know if there were or not, because I figured you would know.
Well, we have examples even in our own state, but yes, it is not uncommon for even 3Ps or community or tax or state funds to go to athletics facilities. Every state has their own different laws,
Okay.
and they can fund it however they want. Our state precludes us from receiving education and general revenues from the state, so we cannot do that. Other states have different rules.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Brendan.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for your presentation this morning. Dr. Cartwright, or whoever wants to answer this, obviously timing is everything. And on Tuesday, the USF news came out about their funding for their stadium. And my understanding is that it's purely privately funded, and they're going to bond out dollars. It's a piggyback on some of the other questions. Why is this different? Why are we seeing other Florida universities do it that way, and you're before this body?
So I would argue that we did it that way about 20 years ago. What we did is we decided we were going to be a college football town and have a stadium. And we actually went through all that process and raised and built all the facilities that got us to where we are today. The difference here now is we're in a different position. We're going into the Big 12. We're a Power 5 institution. We are confident that we can deliver a return on investment for this precious dollars if you invest. I don't think we would have been able to do that 20 years ago. But we know now we're in a different position. We can elevate and take it to the next level what we do in athletics, which then can give the return on an investment from you. We spent all those past 20 years making that happen, and now we just think we're ready to do it.
Okay, let's finish up with Chris and Renee. So Chris, you can go first, then we'll finish up with Renee.
Okay, thanks. Kind of on that funding question, do you know of any other state university that receives TDT funding?
I think Fred can answer that.
Yeah, excellent question. We do know of one, the University of North Florida, for several years has received funding from the Jacksonville-Duval Tourist Development Council, specifically for their track, for the surface, for the infield, and for the lighting, and also for hosting, for the last several years, the Division I preliminary NCAA track and field competitions, and also the Florida High School Association's their track and field championships. So for several years, they've been receiving dollars from their TDC.
Thanks, Renee.
Thank you. This is for Dr. Cartwright or anyone else who wants to answer. And I just want to say that track facility at UNF that was investments from TDT dollars has been a great boon for the Jacksonville area. As a former track coach, we participated there, and they were able to win the bid to have the state track meet there because of that investment. My question to you is, we just heard that USF just decided to build their own stadium on campus. Was USF a competitor of ours, UCF, for a Big 12 bid or a position in the Big 12? And why did UCF get the bid over potentially USF if they were a university that was trying to get into a Big 12?
So we weren't in the Big 12 when the decisions were made about who was the competitors. I would say that we know that they looked at us because we were competitive nationally. We had the on-campus facilities, which were critical. We had competed at the highest level, and in fact, our fan base, which is incredible, had shown up in a big way, right? And I think that what's happened is over the years, with the investment that occurred up until now, we've built a fan base that's not going to go away. In fact, that fan base is going to continue to grow. And I think the Big 12 saw that. They know that this is one of the best metropolitan regions for them to be located in, and it made sense then that it would be UCF that had already proven that we could do those things on campus, build a fan base, have them be a part of what we're trying to do, and continue to move forward. I think that really was a differentiator for us, is the fact that we were seen as being ready to step up to the Power 5. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, UCF, for your presentation today and your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.